party again?
I'm just on my way to pick him up from my dad's, actually. A pair of them are working their way through Eric the Viking together. I'm not sure who's enjoying it more.
Yeah. Listen, I know it's out of hours, but I just wondered if I could have a word with you about Sam.
What's up?
I don't know. He's just that snappy and just not engaging, I suppose.
You do realise you've just pretty much described every single student in Year 10. And 11. And 12.
Yeah, believe me, I know. I lived with Simon, the teenage nightmare.
Talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
The talk of the street.
Talk of the street.
Welcome to episode 399 of The Talk of the Street, an unofficial Coronation Street catch-up podcast that wonders how long the writers spent in the dictionary of Irish names this week before settling on Declan. I'm Gavin.
And I'm blown away.
It's so windy.
It's very windy here in the Midwest of
I've
America.
Got a notification on my phone saying high wind warning.
Yes.
And I didn't know if it was talking about the weather.
Or your ass.
There we go. Thank you for completing the joke.
Yeah, our power keeps blinking on and off, so we're very nervous doing the podcast.
I have batteries in here now.
Yes.
So if the power goes off, this baby still goes.
Yes. Do the microphones still go as well?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, awesome.
Yeah, microphones draw power. Actually, I'm not sure the microphones draw power from this. These aren't that sort of microphone, so
Well,
where does the power come from?
I don't know.
They're not plugged into anything else.
No. Where does power come from?
That's your task. Go find out.
Yeah, it's hilarious because like our community connection page on the Facebook, people keep posting, is anyone else's power going on and off and on and off? It's so weird. Does this happen all the time? And there are people who are like, no, this rarely happens. I think the power's gone out twice in the 10 years that we've lived here. And
What?
I'm like, you people are lying.
It's a couple of times a year, I would say.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah.
I don't remember it going off in the UK as much as this. But then the infrastructure here is dreadful.
Yeah, although here in our city, it's a little bit better because the city owns its own power company.
Or something.
Yeah, so it makes it a little better
Maybe
than
they'll
the
know about the
surrounding
microphones.
areas. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, in fact, even our own Rob South, who,
We're talking about Rob South now.
again,
We're talking about actual people in Newton Rapids on this podcast.
we've done it before, remember?
Yeah, I don't know how
We-
successful that was, though.
We theoretically talked about the death of Rob South in a hit-and-run accident.
That wasn't winning any awards, I don't think.
Was it not? Anyway, he's one of the people who said that the power has only gone out twice since he's lived here. And I'm like, Rob, maybe you're just not in your house often
not.
enough.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Anyway, how are you?
Oh, what? I'm flabbergasted, that's how I am. I wish I had a button to press. Yeah, I'm alright. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Busy at work, cataloging things, making changes, accidentally using my former employer's credit card on Facebook.
You get to jail for that.
And now, I owe Facebook like $300 and it won't let me pay it with my employer's credit card. So it's just sitting there and like they refuse. It's so confusing. Facebook is so confusing because you work for a company, you are a part of the company's Facebook page, but it still treats you as an individual working under the umbrella of that Facebook page. It's weird. And unnecessarily complicated, and their customer service sucks. And that's how I feel about Facebook.
Anyway, shall we preamble, my dear, then?
Yeah, yes, please.
Because I've got nowhere else to go from that. Give us some of that megalomaniac Corrie News.
What?
Facebook.
Ah. Condolences to Jude Reardon and his family at the death of their beloved pet dog, Ruby.
Oh no, poor
Yes,
Ruby.
Poor Ruby. he posted this picture of himself as a toddler with Ruby as a puppy, and it's so cute.
Oh.
It's so sad. It's so sad when a pet dies.
I'll be fine. Yeah, it's...
We've recently had a death in the family, pet-wise, last month, and that was devastating, to me at least.
Yeah.
So...
Everyone else has bravely recovered.
Anyway.
I did love that cat.
Yes, that's why I'm shocked. Everybody loved that cat, and it seems like the neighbors are more devastated than you, you and the kids.
I think you're projecting a little bit.
Jerry was very upset.
Very upset.
Yes.
Sure.
He's like, "Did you guys find your cat?" And I said,
Yes.
"No, he died."
Oh, you did find him.
Right. Well, yes. It's like, yeah, and he was so sad after showing me pictures of himself with his great-granddaughter while dressed up as Santa Claus. Anyway.
So, not very sad at all then.
Helen Flanagan and Brooke Vincent were spotted together at an International Women's Day event, sparking speculation that the gals may be returning to the cobbles.
I can't see it happening.
The gals. Helen Flanagan has been especially vocal in hinting that if they asked her to come back, she wouldn't say no. So, who knows?
I would very much like it to happen, so I am going to say it's unlikely to happen.
Yeah.
So then when it does happen, I can get excited all over again.
We could use an extra lesbian or two on the street. So, if Brooke Vincent came back, I'd be fine with it. And finally, rejoice, Alex fans. Liam Bairstow is set to return to Corrie to take his place behind the counter at Nina's Rolls 16 months after his last appearance.
What's he been up to?
I don't know.
They just haven't written him in?
They just haven't written him in. So it will be interesting when he comes back, because he's supposed to be on the show next week, how they will account for him being missing for 16 months.
They'll ignore it, which is what they do every time he goes away for a long period and then comes back.
Maybe he's been staying with Kathy.
Let's go with that.
Yeah.
We won't.
They
I'd
won't.
be amazed if we get that much information out of
Yeah.
them. I do like Alex, and I like how they invent a whole other soap opera that's his life that never gets aired.
Yeah.
Remember he was doing his comedy, he had his list of zingers that he was using every time. And it was great.
It was great.
And then he disappears for months.
Right. There are other people who disappear for months.
Oh yeah, it's not unusual at all.
No, unfortunately.
Lots of talk about them cutting back again on the cast list, which they keep on threatening on doing.
Well,
just before they
kill somebody off.
No, just before they bring in a new family with another 5 people in it.
Right. Yes. Although they are threatening to kill one of those family members, and that's Corrie News.
It's just one of them, though.
Well, we don't want them to kill.
Well, they were
Ben
complaining
off.
about the bloated cast list when there was like 90 named characters that were like regular characters in the show.
Right.
And they got it down to about 80. And I'm not sure that's making a huge amount of difference.
No.
Anyway. That's Corrie News. And that leads
Corrie
us
News.
to the watering hole of the feedback section that I like to call Everyone's a Critic. Jen writes, Carl, man, he's a full-blown panto villain. I think there are other characters that I would call panto villains. We'll probably talk about them at some length later.
Megan, Theo, Hope.
Oh, fuck off, Maggie.
That too.
Oops. Then Tina writes, Helen mentioned that Steve might have some things in the bureau that Maggie saw. We're going with bureau. Maybe it was a picture of Steve and Maggie knew what Jim's son looked like. I know you two have been talking about it for a while, but I didn't believe that was the way the story was going to go until this past week. Even when Maggie was being rude to Steve, I thought it was because she was possessive of Ben. I'm not sure what took me so long to see what seems to be very obvious. I'm happy for Steve to have Ben for a brother and for Amy to have some family from her dad's side of the streets. That is nice, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Auntie got a mention this week.
Just a mention.
Yeah.
There's a few characters that got a mention this week.
Right, yeah. And apparently Auntie didn't come to the funeral because Liz
Because he's scared of his mum.
would disown him.
Yep.
Sure, that's the reason, Andy. Sure.
Somebody else made a comment about what was in that bureau.
Hutch.
And the point was, Jim is Amy's granddad. So why wouldn't there be a photograph of Jim in the house? Which I think is...
Right, but why would they hide it in the hutch?
Because who wants to have a photo of Jim out?
Why have it in the first place then if you're not going to have it out?
For your conscience. JM Jara 777, who, by the way, always comments on the YouTube videos, and I'm very grateful for that.
Yes.
Oh, I fear for David the dog, I truly do. Does Summer need her vision checked? Why would she buy a boy's shirt for Theo? The next time Todd goes for a run, he should just keep on running.
Yes.
Quite right. Then Caroline Metcalf writes, my sister Marion back in Ireland and I also share the same passion for Coronation Street, but she's not discovered you two ball bags as of yet. Oi!
Hi!
However, my sister and I have another shared Corrie connection that I thought you might like to hear about. Ideally, it would be a drinking game, but as we live in different hemispheres, this Corrie connection tends to only happen virtually or after the fact, and it's called Don't Be Daft. It's kind of our London before the Talk of the Street London fame. Every time that character says Don't Be Daft, we'd take a drink if we were together. After Monday night's episode, I would have been a little tipsy, I can assure you. Here are some of my clips that I've recorded for you over the past weeks. Clearly, I watched the show on a cracked iPad and possess zero editing skills, but if you fancy joining us sipping tea or wine, depending on the time of day, you may realise that once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Keep up the good work. So I'll put this together as well, just so I could get it, so I could play it. And this is from, I think this was Monday's episode.
I'll tell you what, why don't you join me while I wait for him?
Oh, I don't want to intrude.
No, don't be daft. Come on, the more the merrier.
There you go, mate. On the house.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
Ah, don't be daft. It's only a pint.
I mean, I'm happy to split it, you know? We didn't come for a free meal. Ah, no, mate, come on. Don't be daft. Put your money away. It's on us.
There we go. Don't be daft.
Mostly said by Theo. Didn't Maggie say don't be daft quite a bit on Friday? Or Thursday?
I don't know. I haven't tuned my ear into listening for it in the same way that it picks up London.
No, I'm really shocked now that there were 3 on Monday. Because I was like, do people say don't be daft?
They say it
and
all the time.
apparently they say it all the time.
So this is the start of a collection then.
Uh-oh.
I need more collections. Thank you, Caroline, for that. That's going to keep me amused for a while. And Cheeky writes, I've paraphrased some of this. Monday with Theo abandoned any and all subtlety. Tuesday, Maggie became unbearable. Wednesday was nice with Todd's friends rallying around him. Thursday had the funeral being overshadowed by Maggie's weird facial expressions and hiding from Irish squaddies. And Friday, Maggie lost the plot for an entire episode. The problem with the whole week is simple. A lot happened, but almost none of it was well crafted. Knives, funerals, secrets, meltdowns. The show threw everything possible, soap ingredient-wise, into the pot, and somehow still produced something bland. Yeah, you didn't really like this week. I thought it was all right.
Yeah. Well, you know, I never like a week with Theo in it. And they got dangerously close to the line with some of that Megan stuff tonight.
They really did. We'll talk about that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Thank you ever so much to Cheeky, to Caroline, to GM Jara 777, to Jenny, Tina and Jen for writing in this week. Very much appreciate it. Feedback's always welcome. Send us your thoughts and I'll probably read them out. Yeah, it's at talkofthestreet@gmail.com, or our DMs are open at Corrie Podcast. So we love it when people write actual letters to us. Send us your proper mail to the Talk of the Street, PO Box 12, Eaton Rapids, Michigan 48827. Please note that we reserve the right to edit feedback, but only in the interests of brevity.
Yes.
Now, it'll be episode 400 next week. And I feel like we haven't planned anything. No, we could do an episode where you don't do anything like that to celebrate 400 episodes. Or we could do our Ask Us Anything thing again. We did that. Was that last year? The year before? That was quite good fun.
Oh, yeah, it was good fun.
And
we should do that.
People sent in audio clips and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Ask us anything. Send us an email to thetalkofthestreet@gmail.com, or send us an audio clip of you asking us anything, and we'll play that out on the 400th episode next week. Or don't bother. It's up to you.
Yes.
And now we'll podcast for coffee.
Yes, man.
Friend of the podcast.
Oh, a double salute from Helen this week.
Yes.
Welcome to Chris Horrocks again.
What? Did
Who I thought was already a friend of the podcast.
Yeah, I thought so too.
I'm confused. It's fine.
It's fine.
Welcome
back.
Welcome, Chris. Or welcome back. Thank you for being or renewing your friend of the podcast status.
Yes, we appreciate it.
It's always appreciated.
Absolutely.
Yeah, welcome back.
Welcome back.
The Talk of the Street is and will always be free in your podcast provider. I don't know what that does to the number. This is all getting very confusing.
Yes.
The Talk of the Street is and will always be free in your podcast provider and on the YouTubes. Thanks for confusing me, Chris. But if you think our show
It's
is worth
fine.
anything more than the time it takes to listen to it, and if you want to show your appreciation, or if you want more weekly, monthly content, or if you want to confuse me, head over to corriepodcast.com. Click on Support the Pod and then Friend of the Podcast. For $2 a month, you get access to our weekly spoiler show, the Talk of the Street Spoiler Alert, and our monthly classic Corrie show, the Talk of the Street Classics. This month we're talking about episode 4339 from January the 23rd, 1998, Emily Up a Tree. And if that wasn't enough, you also get access to our Discord server, a shout out at the end of every podcast and your name on the credits of the flagship show, and yes, we will perform a one-act play. If you prefer something a little less formal, you can also buy us next week's coffee by clicking Buy Us a Coffee. And remember, you can always support the podcast for free, get us in front of new listeners by liking, subscribing, rating and reviewing wherever you get your podcasts. Alright, shall we dive into this week's episodes then, my dear?
Yes, please.
Our first storyline this week is Sister from the Same Mister. On Monday, we move into week 3 of Poopgate as Jodie is walking David. Adam is showing off his flash new motor to Alia. It looked like an Aston Martin. But when I checked out the license plate of it on the MOT.gov site, it was a Renault van that license plate should belong to, not a fancy Swish sports car as what Adam suddenly got. Seems to be. He referred to it later on in the week as my whip.
That means nothing to me.
Means nothing to me either. But strangely, it was a clue in a crossword this week as well that whip was another name for a car.
Oh, interesting.
Never heard it before.
Me neither. It must be a Scottish thing.
Yes, the New York Times focusing on Scottish colloquialisms for their crossword all of a sudden.
Yeah, but not your part of Scotland.
No. The dark part.
Yes.
Where all the haggis live.
Yes.
Anyway, so Adam and Alia both tell Jodie that they hope that she'll be picking up David's shits, and she mumbles that she'll stick it through his letterbox. At home, Lily tells Jodie that she's decided to keep the trinket box a secret. Boo!
Boo!
Later, David is putting batteries in a baby monitor and remarking that he's already set up a breathing monitor as well. I wonder if this is going to become important, Helen. Because it was the only thing that happened in that scene.
Yeah.
David putting batteries into something.
Yes. Contender for boring moment of the week.
Just a little. But I think it's going to be important.
Yeah, eventually.
On Tuesday, it's becoming harder and harder to determine where Jodie stops and David the dog starts. Because every time we see Jodie,
She's got that
she's
dog
got
with
that
her.
fucking dog. Today, she's letting David piss on Adam's new tyres, which actually doesn't seem that big a deal to me, to be honest. It's just
yeah,
piss.
it's just pee. It's fine. It's
Adam
not
and
going to hurt
Alia
it.
happened by, though, and he is fucking furious. Jodie says that she's sorry that her tiny little dog pissed all over his new tyre, and she scoops David up and takes him into Nina's Rolls, where she is currently working a shift.
Yes.
Michael doesn't think that this is hygienic. Jodie tells him to suck her balls. Later, after dinner, Adam is walking home and he sees Cassie chuckling at his car. Someone has left a dog shit on his bonnet. I wonder who.
Yes. In a bag,
It was in
though,
a bag. She hasn't picked the shit up and
with her hands.
smeared it over his windscreen or anything.
Right, yes. He's not a January 6th rioter at the...
Oh, I don't think anybody could have predicted that we were going to go in that direction.
So I think some of them smeared shit on things. So
Where did they get the shit from?
where do you think? They're assholes.
It was their own shit?
Yes, I believe so.
Is that better?
No.
All right. Meanwhile, Adam and Alia are celebrating being young and sexy by going to get a curry. Adam has heard more disquiet from customers of Fabian's and has put in a good word for Barlow Legal Services to Jenna Mackey. Well, is that a name that we should recognise? I don't think so. This is Fabian's top client. He suggests that they go off on a holiday soon, but Alia is distracted by a mystery text. And later, while Adam is looking at one of David's shits in his car, she's speaking to someone in a different car, a car that David hasn't shat all over, telling whoever it is that she's not interested and they should back off. On Wednesday, Adam has been walking around with a bag of dog shit since yesterday, and he turns up at number 8 to swing it in Jodie's face.
Yes.
She denies that she did it, or that she bagged it and then did it.
Right.
And David, just to annoy Adam, backs her up. I'm on to you, he tells Jodie, and then he leaves. David says, right, spill, what have you done? So it turns out that David thinks that this is a great laugh, and so when it's dark...
Yeah, they think... Why does he think this is hilarious? Is it small man syndrome here? Because Adam is tall, and David is small.
Well, she points out later, I don't think I mentioned it in the notes, that it's just like what he did with Ben's rugby shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, but Ben is a brand new upstart. Adam is a neighbor. It's one thing to do it to somebody you don't know.
Yeah, with David and Adams, well, they do have a history, I guess. It's not always pleasant between them.
Well, it's David.
Yeah.
Things are not always pleasant between David and anyone.
Yeah. Anyway, they think this is a great laugh. So when it's dark, they plan another bag of David. How much shitting does this dog do? Another bag of David shits on Adam's car. Jodie does a passable Scottish accent as she does so. But as they giggle and run off, what they don't see is Adam has been recording all of this on his phone, and he uploads the footage onto Weatherfield's community page. Got you bams, he says. That's what
stands for people asking if that's normal for the lights flickering on and off.
Yeah.
On the Weatherfield community page.
I wonder if Rob South's on Weatherfield's community page. He says, no, it's usual for people to leave dog shit on people's cars. It happens
all the time.
Yep. In other news, Alia gets a call from Rich that she dingies, but later we see her getting out of the same car that she told to fuck off yesterday. And all this is happening in the same sort of area, which is important.
Yes. Or it will be important.
So on Thursday, Adam is super pleased with the results of his social media post that has, as predicted, gone totally virus. So much so that he's glued to his phone as Alia tries to bring up that holiday chat that they had from a couple of days ago.
Right, and Daniel and Alia go back and forth trying to get Adam's attention and talking about the two of them running away together and getting married, and Adam doesn't even look up.
No, he's too busy counting how many comments.
Right, how many likes he's gotten. Yeah, total normal lawyer behavior.
David and Jodie are less thrilled when Lily shows them the post on the community connection thing, with Jodie concerned that this will lead her violent ex to her door. So David texts Adam and asks him to take the video down. Later in the bistro, while Nick's trying to woo everyone with his lentil and red pepper soup, David and Jodie come in to speak to Adam, who's enjoying every moment of this. As David and Jodie squirm, Alia watches the video for the first time because she simply wasn't interested before.
No.
And sees that the footage has caught her coming out of that mystery car.
Uh-oh.
So she encourages Adam to take it down, which he finally agrees to do. On Friday, we finally find out what's going on with this Alia in a car business when Alia walks by the car and hears the name Jenna Mackey. She gets in the car and it's Rich or Ricky, whoever, who cares?
Rich.
It's her old boss. And he's here to remind Alia of the contract that she signed with Fabian's. And it seems that Alia kind of blew the whistle by sending information to investors so that they would pull out some scam they were trying to operate. And Jenna Mackey lost £1.2 million because of it. I liked how it was 1.2 million. It wasn't. And she lost £1 million.
Right.
It had to be 1.2 to make it sound more authentic.
Is that the same guy who played her boss, Rich,
I think
originally?
So. It looked familiar.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
I thought the guy was significantly older that played her boss. Maybe it was a different boss. Maybe it was a different partner that I'm thinking of.
No, I think that was the Rich guy. Or Ricky, or whatever. I think that was him. I think it was him.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that I think that there was an older partner as
okay, I
well.
see.
Yes.
So he tells her that if they take Jenna Mackey on as a client, he'll report her to the lawyer ombudsman or whoever. Alia sits in silence in the car after this for a bit too long.
Yes.
Eventually she leaves and meets Adam at the Rovers, where he has a gift for her to celebrate that the Mackey deal is nearly over the line, which will keep the company going for years. Alia forces a smile and then pockets the gift. And that's as far as we get with that this week.
Yeah. It's weird that we don't know exactly what was in that jewelry box.
Something
He's
old
just
from
like-
that shop she likes.
Right, yes. Something vintage from that shop she likes. But she doesn't actually pick it up and say, "Ooh, look at this. This is nice." She just stares in the box. It could be empty for all we know.
Could be one of David's shits. I wonder if this is going to go into week 4 or if we're done with that now. Hopefully we're done with that now.
I don't know.
We complain about there being no light-hearted storylines. They serve up David's dog shits on a plate and we complain about it.
Is it really lighthearted, though? Because it's just more of Jodie's mean-spiritedness and annoying people just to be annoying.
Yeah.
So it's not really all that lighthearted.
No, and if we're having to lean into the whole dog shit business to get a laugh, if
Yeah.
that's where we're going,
Yeah. Is that really funny?
it's not exactly crafting some,
High-class humor.
yeah. It's poop jokes, basically,
Right, yes.
from a tiny little dog.
Yes.
I'm all for
nice.
seeing more David the dog.
Yes, I enjoy seeing David the dog. I'm happy about that. It's funny, though, the whole, you can't have a dog in here. It's not hygienic, considering how often Roy's dog is in the calf.
Little Freddie.
Little Freddie, in and out. Of course, he typically is just walked through on the way to the door. But sometimes, Evelyn is sitting in a chair at the table with Freddie in her arms.
And the number of times that any random you like will cover a shift at Nina's Rolls without washing their hands.
Without washing their hands, without
having
any
health and safety certificate.
Right,
Or
yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
So, shut up, Michael. The dog's fine. The dog's cleaner probably than anybody else in that calf.
Yeah. It's funny because in the spoilers, it was supposed to be Tracy who complained about the dog.
Oh, was it?
I think so. Not Michael. Although Michael makes more sense because Tracy's family has had a dog. Rest in peace, Eccles, who's never been replaced. They haven't gotten a new dog.
You wouldn't.
We would.
Would we?
We have.
I'm not falling for that again.
We haven't replaced the cat because I think the remaining cat is happy being an only cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway.
I don't think it was interesting that Adam presents Alia with a gift to celebrate almost having a deal over the line.
Right.
It's a strange thing to celebrate.
Yeah.
You could almost say it's tempting fate.
Right. Yeah. Well, again, this whole vacation that they're supposed to be going on is kind of in celebration of this as well, isn't it?
I think arguably, yeah.
Yeah. So it does feel weird to have this whole other lawyers. If this woman is this huge of a client, it feels weird that she's going to Adam now, isn't it? Because he's like small potatoes.
It's just backstreet lawyer, yep.
Yeah.
But can dedicate his entire time to her, which is what I think he's insinuating.
Yeah.
Which is what he did with Damon.
Right. Which
Which
I don't know
let's
if
remember, did that
necessarily-
end well or not?
And it feels like that's not necessarily true considering he no longer has a partner. Remember, Alia's not like a full-fledged lawyer yet.
No.
She's just like a legal aid.
She's been threatened to be taken to whatever it is, the SRA
Right.
or whatever it is, for breach of contract,
Right.
for releasing information
Right.
that she shouldn't have.
Right.
But according to her, it's because what Fabian's was doing
Was illegal.
was illegal.
Right.
So are you really going to take Alia to some tribunal about this when she's basically pointing out
Right.
she's basically a whistleblower.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are whistleblower laws in the UK, yes?
Yeah, would
Yeah.
imagine so.
Yeah, because they have them here. As I know from my years at Jackson National Life Insurance,
Yeah.
doing the CBD on
CBT.
whistleblowing.
T
Yeah.
for training.
T. Did I say D?
Mm-hmm.
CBD. Isn't that's
Say that again.
it's marijuana, isn't it? Cannabis. Something.
It's the Canberra Business District,
Ha.
I think, in Australia.
Which always makes me think of weed.
Yeah, I am glad
What
that
that means.
glad that we've maybe got to the end of the dog shit stuff. But I wonder how much of that was just there to service the introduction of this
Alia thing.
Fabian thing again.
Yeah.
It's
Who knows?
a long way to get from your arse to your elbow, certainly.
Or, to make us hate Jodie more.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to Meet the Driscolls. On Monday, Sam vomits at the bus stop, reminiscent of Brian's escapades over the school governors.
But less messy.
Yeah. Leanne comes round the corner, luckily, to see this and takes him home. On the sofa at Leanne's, she's about to leave him to go to work, and he's a bit concerned about Megan coming back and looks totally different without his glasses on. Leanne explains that she's off out with Daniel after work, Megan that is, so he shouldn't be disturbed. When she leaves, he pulls out a blister pack of meds. Is that his ADHD things? I think so. I think that's what it's meant to be. But that means that they were delivered in a blister pack from the drug dealer. Maybe that's how drugs are handled these days.
Adderall doesn't come to this house in a blister pack, I'll tell you that much.
At the bistro, Leanne tells Nick that Sam just doesn't seem himself right now, and Nick agrees, but Sam won't talk to him, and he bursts into tears while walking away lightly. On Tuesday, Leanne and Megan make tentative plans to unhook their bras later and settle down to a movie. Leanne is very specific. It has to be a rom-com. She's also still worried about Sam, but Megan reckons that he'll talk to her if he needs to. Later, Megan comes home early and shouts on Leanne, but when there's no answer, she settles on the couch and unhooks her bra and has a bit of a sexy chat with Will. But Leanne isn't out. She was just in the shower, and when she comes out, she hears Megan describing how she's going to whatever to his whatchamacallit while he's footering with her haw-haw. Leanne coughs, and Megan quickly hangs up. Leanne apologises and says it could have been so much worse. Megan, who doesn't seem able to imagine the chain of events that this might trigger, laughs as she covers her face.
Yes.
I would have thought she'd have been far more mortified by this than she turned out to be.
Right, yeah. Well, she's probably pretending... She's probably pretending less because, it's like, haha.
Oh, well, Leanne had left by this point.
Between
She was
between
on
women.
She was on the couch herself. Leanne
Right.
had left the room, and then she's covering her eyes and laughing.
Right.
Not
Like,
thinking
whew.
that what are the chances that Leanne's going to speak to Daniel,
Right.
because the chances of that happening, because it's assault,
Very high.
it's almost guaranteed.
Yes.
On Wednesday, Sam is in no mood for Leanne to fret over him, so he barks at her that he's fine and doesn't need her stinking breakfast. As he leaves for school, Megan privately whispers that soon Sam will have no one on his side, and then where will he be? Sam says nothing and leaves. Leanne bumps into Daniel later. Oh, who'd have thunk it?
Right.
And puts a fly in his ear about Sam's moods and her concern that he's worried about something other than school, and Daniel promises to have a word on the down low. Leanne thanks him and apologises for interrupting his phone sex with Megan last night. Well, that wasn't me, says Daniel. And then they have a little strange conversation about how Megan doesn't giggle and how she must have another boyfriend or something. And then Leanne says, oh, maybe it was just the TV that I heard or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And they both kind of walk away as confused as each other.
Yeah.
On Thursday,
That was awkward.
it was awkward, but I was glad it happened.
Yes.
On Thursday at the bistro, Nick, Toya and Leanne are all talking about Sam, who was up to 3 a.m. studying last night. And come Daniel and Megan. Megan says that overstudying can be detrimental, which Daniel thinks is a much longer conversation just to shut her up. And she's like, this fucking guy.
Right.
I mean, as much as you hate Megan, seeing Daniel be misogynistic to her,
And condescending, yes.
kind of have to feel sorry for her a little bit. Putting up with this pish.
The bangs have shown up. Have you noticed? All of a sudden, she now has bangs.
I only noticed it when she had her hood up. Another different storyline.
Yeah, she's got bangs
Later.
this week. Last week she didn't have bangs. And, murder week in April, she will have bangs.
Yes.
So we're getting closer to murder week.
Thank God. The bangs have arrived.
Yes.
She doesn't suit them.
No. You don't think anybody suits bangs,
I'm not
though.
a fan
You
of
hate bangs.
I'm not a fan.
Or fringe.
I never heard the word bangs in that regard until I moved here, but I've heard more and more people back home saying bangs,
Really?
which might just be the Americanisms of the Americanization of the United Kingdom.
America!
Fire
Shake
order.
our fist.
Yep. So they go at their table where Megan says that she's too busy to see Daniel tonight to do that thing that they were going to do, which is overheard by Leanne. So later, Leanne has Toya and Eva over as Megan heads out, and she's not fully out the door before Leanne's already gossiping, telling the others about the sex chat that didn't involve Daniel, and now Megan's off out when she said she was busy.
Right.
Leanne is sure that Megan has another man on the go.
Yes. She's partly right.
You heard it here first, she says.
Yes.
Because Eva's very reluctant to believe
He's
this.
like, oh no, Megan's an angel.
We've known her forever.
Yeah.
Have you, though?
Have ya?
On Friday, Indiana Rolls, Hope is convinced that Sam has been bullied despite his protests otherwise.
And she starts naming bullies.
She tells him that he needs to tell his bully that he's not scared of them, and she gets him to practice. He says, I'm not scared of you. And Hope says, boo. And Sam shits himself. Yes, you are, she says. I thought that was fantastic.
That was funny. It's like, everyone's afraid of you, Hope.
But when he runs into Megan later and tells her that he's not scared of her, he says that he has plans to tell everyone the truth. She says that no one will believe him, and then she'll tell the police about the camera that he left in the flat, and he'll get done for being a fucking pervert. She then brags about all the sex that she gets with Will, which was a very disturbing move, and a very odd move for her to say.
I fast forwarded through most of that because I'm like, no, I don't want to hear this. Bloop, bloop, bloop.
She said, we went to my room and you wouldn't believe the things that we got up to.
We don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
This is not... She doesn't know that he might be recording her right then and there.
I was sure that he was. Because at the end of this, he goes to his pocket after she's fucked off.
Uh-huh.
But it's these meds that he pulls out again and his hand's trembling.
Right.
But I thought, surely he's going to be recording this.
Right.
So many problems with us.
And anybody could walk by. They're in public. They're on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody could walk by and hear her say these things to this boy.
Yep. So, problems with us. Apart from the horrible chat.
Right. And making me want to vomit.
She says nobody's going to believe you.
Right.
Sam? Everyone's going to believe him.
Right.
Who's not going to believe Sam?
Sam. Everybody, everybody knows this kid is trustworthy and honest. And nobody really knows you very well.
Exactly.
And also, there have been other people who have been concerned about this a little. Like Lauren. We haven't mentioned the fact that Lauren was a little uncomfortable about the whole Will and Megan thing.
Yeah, not for a while.
But...
Because that's responsible for Daniel and Megan.
Right. Because if Sam said something and Lauren heard it, it would trigger that memory for Lauren, and she'd be like, yeah. And also, it feels like Leanne would believe Sam and trust Sam about all of this. And also, where is that camera now? Because didn't Sam go and pick it up and take it home with him?
He went to pick it up, but she'd already moved it because she found it because it wasn't hidden.
Right.
And she says to him
It's got
about
your
the camera.
fingerprints all over it.
Fingerprints are very unreliable.
Right. And also, it will have Megan's
And it will
fingerprints
have her
all over
fingerprints,
it.
right? So,
That's nothing.
and the fact that he's there all the time,
Right.
why wouldn't his camera with his fingerprints
Right.
be there?
It's his stepmom's flat.
Right. So, the things that she's threatening him with don't really add up.
No, they really don't.
And Sam is clever enough to know this.
One would assume. But you know how they do this with the characters sometimes. To further plot, they make them dumb. Or change their
they've got
personalities
him-
completely.
They've got him so worried about these exams.
Which doesn't make any sense. Because it's Sam!
He looks so different without his glasses, though.
Yeah, I prefer it when he's wearing them.
He looks older without his glasses, I think.
He does.
The trailer dropped. I'm not going to talk too much about this because it's spoilery, and we're not in the spoiler part of the show.
Right, you have to pay for that.
But a whole $2 a month.
Ooh.
But what they seem to have in store for this, from the bits that I've seen, I haven't watched it all because I don't want to spoil it for me. But I couldn't help but see some of the autoplay stuff coming up on social media.
See, this is why you give social media up for Lent.
It looks good. It looks like this comeuppance are coming, and it looks like it's going to be satisfactory. I'm, despite everything, getting a little bit excited about how this is going to develop, because I mentioned in the blog last week, was it in the podcast last week?
Doesn't matter.
That the thing that the flash forward robs us of is the tension, because we know that these 5 people are going to make it to the middle of April, end of April. So nobody thinks that anything bad's going to happen to any of these characters in their storylines, because we see how they are towards the end of April. But for the Megan side of it, it would make sense that the revelation of what she's been getting up to has to happen beforehand.
Right, yeah.
By a week or so to make her...
At least.
To make her a potential victim of this. It can't happen that night, you would have thought. So maybe we do get a little bit of progression, and we get a little bit of progression in another storyline as well, but again, it's not something that really makes that much of a difference to me, because I can't get too excited about it because of the fact that they've kind of blown their wad already by telling us what happens in a month's time, or who's still alive and what condition. So even when something decent does happen, I haven't felt excitement towards it. Whereas if we didn't know any of this happening towards the end of April, the things that happen in the next storyline that we're going to talk about would maybe give me the sense that this was reaching a conclusion now, and I would be getting excited about it. So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Which is Theo No Sleeves. On Monday, it's Theo's birthday, and you'd think he was 10.
Right, yeah. Seriously.
You're a grown-ass man.
You're a grown-ass man.
Your birthday means nothing.
It's not even like an important birthday, is it?
I think so.
He's like, they don't even say how old he is.
Yeah.
Do they? Usually it's like, oh, it's your 37th birthday.
Your eyebrows are 26.
Because, like, remember how much of a big deal they made Maggie's 65th birthday.
So it's Theo's birthday. Summer and Todd sing to him. He complains about that. And then Summer's present of a t-shirt is too small and very boring. And then Todd has got him a food processor, which is a good present. I'm sorry.
Excuse me. I seem to recall you being very flabbergasted and kind of let down when I bought you a Soda Stream, which in the end turns out to be the best present I ever gave you. But in the beginning, you were like, So I can kind of understand the whole food processor thing. Plus, don't they already have a blender?
No, the thing with the Soda Stream is, where am I going to put it? Was the biggest issue with it.
Like, what am I supposed to do with this? And I said, make soda. It's cheaper than buying the canned stuff. And you like when things are cheaper.
You know me so well.
I do.
But no, a food processor is a gift for both of them, and Todd's right. It's something for the fitness thing and all that sort of stuff. Plus, Todd's got no money.
It's sensible.
Summer's white t-shirt.
Well,
nah,
it's a polo, isn't it? It's got a collar.
Well, that makes all the difference.
Right. But
he can play at Wimbledon now.
It is like 2 sizes too small. But we've seen this shirt before, because remember, she showed Todd this shirt last week, and it seemed bigger last week.
Yeah, because she held it up to herself.
Right. And Theo's like, well, at least it'll make my arms look good.
Theo, you're not getting that shirt over your head. I'm sorry. Theo doesn't do a good job hiding his disappointment that these are the only gifts that he's got and the only gifts he's likely to get, and his kids couldn't be fucking bothered to send him even a card.
They forget, which is hilarious.
he decides to fix a cupboard in the kitchen, which I was worried about because I thought that was going to lead them to discovering Todd's money box. But the reason that he's fixing a cupboard in the kitchen is important for a different reason, a more disturbing reason that we'll get to in a little bit. Todd goes off to work with Theo, reminding him to bring his wallet to pay for dinner later. So later at work, George is nursing a hangover and leaves to get some painkillers, which frustrates Todd because he's already running late for Theo's birthday extravaganza at the bistro. There, Theo is already getting wired into what he makes clear is the most expensive wine the bistro have, while he fumes about Todd's tardiness. And then, as his Theo's no mates, Gary and Maria show up and he asks them to join him, which they agree to do. Theo goes off to call Millie, but she pretty much hangs up within a minute of realising that it's her dad calling it, and that's Millie, and she's a bit...
You know. Yeah, and it seems like she's also kind of embarrassed that they have forgotten his birthday, and that's one of the reasons why she wants to get off the phone.
Oh, is that what you picked up from that?
Yeah.
I picked up that they couldn't have given a fuck one way or the other whether it was his birthday or not.
But also, isn't it weird? Isn't it weird? Because a court decided that visits to Theo are mandated, and yet we haven't seen those children in months.
Right.
And they refuse to take his calls. Mandated. Yeah,
that was the problem.
That was the problem. Yeah. We haven't even seen Danielle since Christmas.
I miss Danielle. Slag! So this is the moment, obviously, that Todd walks in. All apologies. They're far enough away from Gary and Maria, so Theo is able to hiss that he should be fucking sorry. And then they go back to the table. To top it off, Theo has decided that Todd will pay for Gary and Maria's meals, so it's no surprise that Todd doesn't have enough money. He's negotiated an IOU with Nick at the bar when Theo comes over to see what the hold-up is and ends up just paying for the meal himself. Back home, Theo...
And getting all angry and embarrassed when he should have known this is what's going to happen.
Well, this is what he wants to happen, isn't it? He's ordering the most expensive wine. He's inviting 2 other people to the dinner. Of course Todd's not going to be able to pay for this. But he's made sure that Todd's not going to be able to pay for this.
Right.
Because he wants this argument.
Right. But then he acts like he's so embarrassed by the fact that Todd spent far too much on that food processor so that he doesn't have enough of that $200 left to pay for the most expensive wine at the bistro, which is probably like close to $100 to begin with. And then you add the food. Apologies if you heard the wind.
Back home, Theo calls this the worst birthday ever, thanks to Todd humiliating him in front of his friends. Todd is too tired to argue about this, and Theo says he's tired too. He's tired of Todd. Todd ignores this and asks that Theo doesn't drink anymore because when he's in this kind of mood, he becomes a wee bit more of an asshole when he's drunk. So Theo starts to throw coffee and sugar and mugs at Todd. And when he goes for the spoons, Todd launches himself at Theo to restrain him, but Theo pushes him off, grabs his Stanley knife from the DIY earlier, that's why that was important, and unfurls the blade. What are you going to do? Says Todd. Don't push me, says Theo. You going to stab me? But rather than backing off, Todd tells him to do it. Put me out of my misery, because anything would be better than having to live like this. And he screams, do it! Theo drops the knife and barges by Todd.
Where's Summer?
Well, she's conveniently somewhere else, isn't she?
Right, in the middle of the night. Was she not invited to this birthday meal? Apparently not.
Apparently not. She'd been busy buying small T-shirts from somewhere.
Or did she decide to sleep at Billy's that night? Because I'm assuming that they're still paying rent at Billy's as well, yes?
I don't think we've gotten into the finer details of the lease arrangement that presumably has now become void now that Billy's died.
Right, yes. But we don't see anybody else moving in there.
No, but
or all the furniture.
I think someone is definitely still staying with Todd. And,
right.
And is intending to do so. But it's important for the storyline, Helen, that she's not here for this. Otherwise, none of this works. Or it goes in a very different direction.
Right, yeah. But still,
it's
very convenient.
It was an electric scene.
Yes.
I thought Theo was holding a taser to start with, because when he does the Stanley knife thing, it makes a cracking noise as it goes over the little ratchet thing.
Right.
And it sounded like a taser. And I was like, wait a minute.
Where
Theo's
did he
going
get a taser?
And he's going to electrocute Todd? This is bizarre. I never saw this coming.
I
But
mean,
no,
we
it
have
was just
seen taser play on the show before.
We have. As,
Yes,
as
poor Jenny got it in the ass.
Have it.
Of it. With what's her name? Who's supposed to be the head of
Sharon.
the criminal organization,
Yes.
but has disappeared somehow.
The way that they've told this story, I think, has been clearly the secondary idea after the whole conversion therapy thing
Right.
wasn't going anywhere, or they didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
So the way that they've done this and they've dragged it out since last summer has been too long, and it's been too much.
Yes.
And it's ebbed and it's flowed, and it looks like Todd's going to realise and then doesn't, and then it looks like
Or
he's
he
going
does,
to...
and then he doesn't.
And then he does, and then he doesn't. But the moments where he has that clarity, and like what happened here when he's standing up for himself, or when he's just saying, do it, because I've just fucking had enough of this.
Right.
I've had enough of you.
Yeah.
I can't live like this anymore, so put me out of my misery.
Right. Do it.
Those are such good scenes.
Yes.
And it does something a little bit to the credibility of it, I think, when it never sticks. So
No.
you have these great scenes where Todd is just...
Fed up.
Yeah, you can't take anymore, and he would rather take being stabbed than having to put up with this for 1 minute longer.
Right.
But if
you
this
also-
ends up not having any impact at all, it's going to be such a damp squib.
And again, this is the whole thing with the mid-April murders. Is that again, like with the whole Megan thing, it's like, oh, exciting. It looks like something is going to finally happen with this. And then it's just kind of doesn't.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be dragged out, but in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean they've done this already where Theo smashes up the house and then Todd's left to clean up. We've seen this. The stabby part is new.
Yeah.
But the other parts, Theo throwing dishes around and smashing things.
Yep.
We've seen that.
We have.
At least he doesn't end up in a table this time.
Yeah. On Tuesday, Todd is tidying the mess in the flat as he calls in sick to work. Theo has slept in his van, but he wakes up and drives off when Gary approaches. Gary catches up with him in Nina's Rose later, where he's monitoring Todd on Lizzie's Tramp Tracker app. Gary asks what's going on, and Theo eventually admits that he and Todd are arguing and things are tense between them because of money. Back at the flat, Todd's trying to get some use of that food processor. Do you know, I would have thought that'd be the last thing he wanted to look at. But no, he's trying to process some food.
Right, and it doesn't work.
Can't get it to work. And he's switching it on at the wall and switching it off at the wall and switching it on at the food processor, and nothing he's doing is working. So eventually he rips it out of the wall, throws it across the room, just as Gary just wanders into
Walks
the flat.
into his flat.
On his own.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, the first thing that Todd asks isn't, what the fuck are you doing in my flat? And instead mumbles that he couldn't get it to work. Gary calms him down and tells him that Theo gave him a key and asked him to pick up some stuff for him, and tells him that Todd is sleeping in his van. I'm like, yeah, well, that's all well and good that Theo gives you a key, but do you knock first? I think you still knock first.
Yeah.
You're walking into somebody else's house
Because
here.
you can hear Todd clearly inside the flat. So you know Todd is home.
Yeah, because you can hear a food processor getting thrown
Thrown
about.
across the room, yes. And Todd going, ah!
Yeah, just
like that.
Todd wonders if they can salvage this relationship. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, surely not.
Surely you don't want this, Todd.
Gary says, only if that's what you want. So Gary texts Theo to come over, which he does, and then he leaves him to it. Todd apologises for what happened last night. Why? He says that he's sorry. And Theo says that he's sorry too, but this isn't working out. And they're both unhappy, and he thinks that they should walk away from the relationship. He takes off his ring and hands it
But
back
I like that.
hands it back to Todd, apologises for everything, and then leaves. And Todd, for a second, looks like he's either going to go and lock the door or he's going after Theo to chase after him.
Right.
But in the end, he does neither.
He looks like he's going to cry. But then he doesn't do that either.
But he is upset about this.
Yeah.
And it's like, this isn't what he wants.
But
So it's like he wants a version of Theo where his life isn't in danger.
Right. He doesn't know what he wants.
On Wednesday, over some weird podcast, Todd goes jogging but bumps into Theo with Gary and Maria, his new best friends forever. It's awkward as fuck until Gary drags Theo away. Summer appears and offers her apologies that the relationship is over, but Todd doesn't seem sure that it's final despite having a knife pulled on him two nights ago.
And getting handed a ring, but not like that.
And Undertaker's George and Christina are cooing over Todd, taking care of him, saying all the things that they're supposed to say while Todd impatiently waits in a call centre queue with a bank so he can get a new bank card. I'm glad that he was doing that. And I thought, oh God, we're going to get something from the bank where his identity's been erased somehow.
Right,
or
he can't get his money back from Theo.
I was glad that Christina and George seem to be more Team Todd than they have been in the recent weeks, where they were very quick to take Theo's side and believe him over Todd and stuff over the whole thing that happened in the special episode.
Right, the table thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although, let's not forget, Christina has been suspicious of Theo the whole time, supposedly.
Until she wasn't.
Maybe she's back. Who knows? She's been busy pretending to be George and cleaning out old ladies, but not like that.
At the pub, Sarah and James are next to offer their condolences, and George gets the drinks in. But then Todd sees Theo with, again, his new BFFs. So he downs his whiskey and goes to leave, but Theo calls on him and asks for a word in private. So out the back, Theo is calm as he hopes that they can remain friends, as they've been through so much together. But then he says that even though they loved each other so very much, he thinks that Todd didn't really know the real him, and he pledges to do better in future. And Todd's like, what the fuck?
What does any of this mean?
Back at the bar later, and Todd's getting slowly blutered as he bemoans how Theo loved him like he's never been loved before, and seems genuinely to be more sad than relieved that it's over. James senses that he's at the modelling stage of pishness, so walks him home. Outside, Theo is on Lizzie's Tramp Tracker app again and sees Theo walk home in front of him with James. So you don't really need the app at this point, Theo. The two of them, James and Todd, chuckling away as they go into Todd's flat together. Theo has the same sort of fit that Todd had in his car a little while ago and that Joel had in his car round about the same time that he died. But this time, I think we see Theo's legs getting involved in the little fit, which is, I think, a difficult thing to do in a driver's seat, isn't it?
And also there's some sound effects and some weird lensing over, Theo beating up a steering wheel about someone he himself has broken up with.
So why do you think he broke up with him?
I think he broke up with him so that Todd would come crawling back to him.
Yeah, that's what I think as well.
And that's at the moment not happening.
Right.
Which is fine.
On Thursday, in Devs, Summer and George are gossiping about James staying on Cod's couch. On Todd's couch is what I meant. Last night when, of course, Theo comes in and overhears, he pretends to be fine with us, insists that he and Todd only wish good things for each other. But he glares at them as he leaves. He's obviously not happy. Later, Theo's in speed dial with Gary. Gary eats so much curry. And Gary points out that the woman that's suing George is over there. So when Gary nips off for a shite, probably because he's been eating so much curry, Theo is over like a shot and tells the woman that he's heard all the rumours about George. He wanted to know how much his fictitious mother-in-law was worth before he'd bury her. And he also gives the bereaved the hard sell on mahogany coffins. He wishes this woman the best of luck.
Yeah. Which is interesting because we talked about this a little bit on the spoiler alert last week, and we weren't quite sure exactly which tact Theo was going to take with this woman, because we were kind of under the impression that maybe Theo was going to white knight for George here, but that is not the case.
No.
That's not what happened.
He's spreading malicious rumours.
Yes.
On Friday, another day, another trip to speed dial for Theo. This time he's used Lizzie's Tramp Tracker app to locate Todd, who's there with George and Christina. who have been barred from the Rovers in another storyline, and I've just found out about all this fake news about George that I suppose we're meant to think was caused by Theo talking to that woman yesterday.
Yeah, there's like all these like, because it's not the Weathy Gazette who's writing articles about this.
This is a
like,
tattler site.
Yeah, these are like
Gossip sites.
MAGA people on the internet making up rumors because George is so liberal,
Right.
with his burying of people,
Mm-hmm.
and also supports the gays.
It does. Employs them even.
Yes, that's how he supports them.
Todd goes over to be polite, but Theo's dating app notifications keep going off, and Theo is swiping left and right like a good un. So Todd says, fuck this for a game of soldiers, and leaves him to it. That's as far as we get with that this week.
Swipe left, swipe left, swipe left.
This one's a maybe.
Yeah, that's
so again,
about right.
This is in support of the why did they break up with Todd in the first place?
Right, yeah. He's trying to make Todd jealous and make Todd come crawling back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is it going to work?
So far, no.
No, so far, Todd's stuck to his guns, and Todd has been, I think, how we would want him to react to this. Slightly disbelieving of it, but almost, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Which is good enough.
Yeah. I'll take it. A little disappointed that James slept on the couch, but also am pleased that James slept on the couch because he's a gentleman. He's not going to shag a very drunk Todd. He's not going to take advantage.
No. I don't know. I felt that could have gone either way.
Yeah.
Especially with his history with Carl.
Yeah. But I don't feel like he ever took advantage of Carl.
Still a bit underhanded though, isn't it?
Well, he didn't realize it was underhanded. Let's not forget, he didn't know about Abby.
Oh, that's true.
Although how he didn't know about Abby, living that close to the garage, is anyone's guess.
Indeed. No, I was relieved that this wasn't just another week of Todd being treated so appallingly and gaslit and manipulated and
right.
and abused.
Yes.
That something else came out of it. And what it did give us, as Cheeky said in the feedback section, it did give us the pleasure of seeing Todd's friends all rallying around him.
And supporting him, yeah.
And the fun that they had at the bar with Sarah talking about how she dumped him as well, and Ben being kind of surprised that, wait a minute, you two were
Yeah.
And Todd's like, I've been dumped by men and women, thank you very much.
Yes.
That was all great stuff, and like we always say, it's just nice when the show leans on its history a little bit more.
Yes,
and
we like that.
We got a good bit of that this week.
Yeah, we did. Not even just in this storyline.
No. Which you would hope would happen in the final storyline that we're going to talk about this week.
Yes.
It's worse than that. He's dead, Jim. On Monday...
Damn it, Jim.
Mm-hmm. We've made the same jokes last week.
Yes, we did.
On Monday at the cab office, Steve dinges a call from Cassie. Tim thinks this is because he's not sure what he'll do if she proposes again, and he admits that he loves her, but isn't sure that this is the right time. And his track record is appalling, and I was so glad that he remembered that bit.
Yeah.
The next call is from Jim's ex, telling Steve that the funeral is on Thursday, and they want him to do the eulogy. Eulogy? He goes to the pub to talk to Ben about this, with Maggie keen to know if he intends to go at the funeral, given how he and Jim weren't on the best of terms.
My mom used to have a horse named Eulogy. My niece made you sniff it.
Steve confirms that he will be going to the funeral after all. Lauren doesn't know who died, so Maggie rips the piss out of her for being stupid. Where's your fucking mute button? Then in comes Amy, all dressed up. That's what she said to her.
Yeah, I know.
Oh. Who are you yawning at then?
You.
I wasn't talking to you though.
And yet you were.
Then in comes Amy, all dressed up, ready for her date with Ollie. They order a drink before they head into town, and Lauren, seemingly accidentally, but maybe not really, spills a pint all down Amy and her fancy top. Amy is mortified and runs home to get changed. Lauren mutters that she's a drama queen. Then Ollie gets stuck into Lauren thinking that she's jelly. Go fuck yourself, says Lauren. Behind the bar, Maggie applauds Lauren's tenacity, but reckons more subtlety is required to win back Ollie's affections. Lauren is confused because Maggie didn't want the two of them to get together. When did I ever say that, says Maggie.
Oh, fuck off, Maggie.
Seriously.
On Tuesday, Amy, the dirty stop-out, was late getting home and is late getting up. But she's coy when she's quizzed by Tracy and Cassie about her date with Ollie last night. It was she says. And I was like, oh, maybe it wasn't that great then.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just awkward that her mother and her father's girlfriend are both trying to get the dirty deets on her date. Because that's not creepy at all.
No, I agree, but the way that she answered it, though, was still
kind of like
non-committal.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Steve is getting prepared for the funeral on Thursday, and he rejects Ken's offer to borrow a tie and instead goes to borrow one from Ben.
What's wrong with Ken's ties?
I'm going to say that they smell of Ken.
They've got that old man smell.
Musky. So this puts Steve in the back room of the Rovers when Ollie comes in, and Steve gently ribs him about his intentions with Amy. Ollie insists that his intentions are pure, but he says he's meeting Amy for dinner at Speed Dial later, so who knows. Maggie sits and quietly fumes at all of this. Later, Lauren apologises to Ollie about the spillage yesterday, but then she's dragged away by Maggie for a private chat. Maggie tells her that Ollie prefers her, and she needs to make more of an effort with him. She says that she'll look after Frankie, and tells her to go and get her glad rags on and head over to Speed Dial later. Lauren is confused. She thought Maggie hated the idea of her and Ollie, and Maggie says that she was wrong. So, Ollie and Amy are in Speed Dial, going through some getting to know you chat when Lauren and Betsy come in, both of them dressed to kill, and on a night on the town on a Tuesday, and Ollie's jaw falls open. Amy wonders what he's looking at, and then she turns to see. Oh, she says. Ollie apologises
Awkward.
and says that he's never seen Lauren dressed up before. That's a good line, Ollie. Oh no, my eyes have just popped out of my head because I haven't seen her dressed up as sexily as she's dressed up right now. While Amy isn't really dressed up all that much for a date.
And it's like, Ollie, you've been on 2 dates with Lauren.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've seen her.
And she did get dressed up for that date.
Yes, for both of them.
Lauren, who feels embarrassed by all this, leaves with Betsy. Back at the pub, Maggie's idea of looking after Frankie is to let Susie give him a makeover and a haircut. Ollie comes in and reports that he and Amy have cooled somewhat. Maggie starts singing the praises of Lauren, which confuses Ollie, and Maggie says that she's had a change of heart now that she's gotten to know her. On Wednesday, Maggie is thrilled to see Lauren arrive for work and comment on how lovely she is and how she must have been beating them off with a shitty stick on her night out. Lauren uncomfortably goes to get ready for her shift while Ollie finally twigs and he accuses Maggie of trying to get Lauren to skipper his date with Amy. He says he will date who he wants. Maggie, of course, denies all this, but says Lauren is by far the better catch than that Barlow girl. And Ollie tells her to...
Oh, fuck off, Maggie.
It's good that Ollie clearly sees his grandmother.
He's about the only one who does.
Yeah.
Or sees it
Except
as
for Eva.
clear, who sees it as clearly as this.
Yeah.
Because Eva's still kind of confused about what she's up to, but Ollie knows what she's up to.
Yeah.
That's quite impressive. And he calls her out on it as well.
Yeah. Ollie's starting to grow on me.
Yeah. Steve's in the pub later, chatting with Tim and Ben, worrying about the eulogy. Tim offers to come along to give his support, but Steve says, nah, it's fine. Ben mentions that the best parties he's ever been to have been funerals, so Steve invites him along, and Tim's jaw hits the bar. How fucking dare you?
Tim says, oi!
The fucking cheek of it. Ben agrees to go. What's Steve doing here?
He doesn't even know. He's being Steve. He's a Muppet.
No, he's not. I think it's more than that.
Because
it's like he doesn't value Tim's friendship anymore. And that's bullshit.
And yet, Tim does go to the funeral.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
What's
In
the
a
whole point of this then?
Hawaiian shirt?
Yeah, we'll get to that. Through the back, Ollie and Lauren chat. Ollie's still sore about getting stood up, but Lauren explains that after Joel, she's still very nervous about new relationships, and that's why she stood him up. Ollie takes this as his cue to move in, and they smooch just as Amy comes in. She calls him a prick and storms off, pushing by Maggie, who had sent her through in the first place. And Lauren looks like she might not be fooled by any of this either. At home, Amy complains to Steve, but he's too consumed with nerves about the funeral. Amy tells him it will be a tough day, but it's meant to be a tough day, and they'll get through it. I thought that's a really good way of putting that as well.
Yes.
Yeah, this is going to be difficult, but it's meant to be difficult.
Right, yeah.
Well done, Amy.
Yes. Amy, continuing to be the wisest member of this family.
That she's been for at least 10 years.
Yes. Suck it, Daniel. And Ken.
On Thursday, the day of the funeral has arrived. Steve is spruced up quite nicely. In the pub, Ben's getting ready and Maggie is more of a bitch than normal as she insists that it's stupid him going to the funeral as he never knew the man and he barely knows Steve.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Eva is lint rolling him.
Yes.
And making cracks about going through airport security in Belfast.
Yes. Ben explains that he's supporting a friend. The fuck is wrong with her, says Eva. Ben thinks it's because Jim was a proddy. No one's really going... That's basically what he said. No one's really going to the funeral. Andy won't be going, and Liz is surprised that Steve's going. Dev's not going either. And Tim can only go when he's wearing the Hawaiian shirt.
Right.
And Sally rushes over as she found his tie under the bed.
Right.
A wink.
Yes. Ooh la la. And then she says to Steve, condolences. Your dad was a man.
Yes.
I love that so much. Well done, Sally.
And nobody disagrees with her.
Well done.
The funeral passes without incident and everyone descends in the Rovers afterwards.
Yeah, we make such a big deal about this funeral and this eulogy, and then we don't get to see it.
Yeah.
Which is stupid.
And in the party are two of Jim's Irish squaddy mates, Declan and Davy or something, who knows.
Right, yes. One has large ears.
Don't they both have large ears?
One has significantly larger ears.
Okay. Maggie shits herself when she sees them and she rushes through the back. It seems that Samantha Failsworth showed up, whose pants Jim was very keen to get into many years ago, and we just talked about Sam Failsworth in the classics last month, as she was the one with Des at that point.
Right, yes. Of course, we don't get to see her at this is why we don't get to see the funeral, because then they can say that people were at the funeral
who
are very much not at the funeral.
Yes. So we get the same three Jim stories getting brought out as we talk about his legacy at the bar. Pointedly, Maggie is there when talk turns to the genetic disease that Jim had and how Steve and his brother managed to dodge that bullet, even though there was 50-50 odds.
Right.
Because if there's 50-50 odds and you don't have it, and you don't have it, then
isn't
somebody else...
Isn't that what the baby died of? The baby sister?
No. And Steve makes a point of saying that. Later, Steve's pished out of his tits when Ollie and Lauren come in, and Steve gives Ollie a piece of his mind for leading on his Amy, and it's so bad that Ben has to throw him out.
Yeah.
At the back, Maggie's hiding, but Declan finds her and says, I'm just assuming that one's Declan, and says...
The one with the biggest ears.
And says he recognises her from Belfast. Maggie says that she just has one of those faces, one of those punchable faces, but Declan is sure that she's the Maggie who was Jim's butt in the side, his wee Maggie, he used to say.
Whoa.
She knew that he was married, he says, and she knew he had kids, but that didn't stop her. Oh, not that it's all your fault. He promises that he's not here to cause problems and leaves her to it. Maggie gnaws on a knuckle. Excellent.
Yes.
I'm so glad this is happening.
Absolutely. Woo.
She's been so dodgy for the best part of a couple of weeks or so. Every time that Steve comes in,
right.
And then with the Ollie and the Amy thing just made it worse, and she's been really insufferable all week.
Yeah.
And she's just so much worse when she's in a foul mood. And she's done this thing that she's done at least twice this week so far, and I think she'll do again before the end of the week, where she walks into a shot, stops, looks concerned, and then continues to walk.
Yeah. So it's like a reverse Grandpa Simpson. She just keeps going.
I can imagine such a thing.
Yes. She still yells at clouds, though.
So this guy comes in and just throws everything up in the air because he knows.
Yes. He knows.
I loved that.
Yeah.
And the way that he talked to her as well.
Yeah.
He wasn't exactly threatening.
He was a little threatening.
That was simmering.
Right. It was more, and it seemed more, oh, stop pretending that you're not who I know you are, more than I'm going to tell everyone what a slag you are.
Mm-hmm.
In that flashback where she murders her husband by gently nudging him down the stairs.
Yes.
it gets mentioned, doesn't it, that she had an affair with someone around that time?
Yeah, that's
So
what
is
her
this what
husband accuses her
Right.
of.
So was that Jim that they were talking about, or is
Yeah.
she like spreading it out all over the
No,
place?
that was Jim.
Okay, good. Because that would be around. Would that be around? Is Steve younger than Ben?
No.
Oh no, yeah, that makes sense. So Steve was.
Yeah, if they're trying to pass Steve off as being younger than Ben, then
That would
we
be
need to
hilarious.
recast everyone. Steve's 50. Ben ain't no 50.
No, but that would mean that affair was going on for quite some time. If Ben is Jim McDonald's son, because Ben is like what, 8 in that flashback?
No, I thought he was maybe a bit older than that. Maybe double digits. Maybe 12. I don't know. I don't think it was clear.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was a long affair. Although the way that they talked about it
Seemed
with
like
his
it
wee
was
Maggie, and the fact that Declan remembers it,
right.
suggests that it wasn't just a quick flash in the pan.
No. And they were both married to other people at the time.
Mm-hmm. Maggie knew that Steve and Andy existed.
Right. Which meant that Jim McDonald went back to Ireland at some point after Steve and Andy were born. When did they move to the street?
The 90s?
So Steve was like a teenager at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite the catch. I know it's hard to believe, but...
No, I've seen it. Why don't Steve and Andy have Irish accents if they spent most of their childhood in Ireland?
Well, why does David have a Yorkshire accent?
I don't know.
On Friday, Maggie is in an even worse mood today than she was yesterday as
Yes.
a hungover Ben fails to make his ECG appointment,
Right.
thanks to the parking at Weather General and his inability to find the correct department on his own.
Right, yes, and also being very hungover.
Steve is nursing a hangover too and says that he's already apologised via text to Ollie, but he and Ben have yet to clear the air. Maggie catches wind of the George situation and is horrified when the Tattle site uses a photo of George and the Rovers.
Right, which begs the question, what creepy person was surreptitiously taking pictures of George drinking in the Rovers from the bar?
So she marches through the bar, basically slanders George in front of witnesses and then bans him. And bans Christina and Todd as well. And she ends up firing Glenda when she sticks up for her brother. Eva sees this and has a private word, wondering if Maggie was more affected by the funerals that made her think of Ben's dad, just like it made Eva think of the people that she's lost. Crying over exes now, says Maggie.
Oh, fuck off, Maggie.
Seriously.
Eva's sympathy vanishes and she tells Maggie that Glenda is going nowhere. So Maggie has to backtrack, unbar the funeral people, and take Glenda back. She says she was just under so much stress because of Ben's heart and has had nightmares of it exploding out of his chest.
Like a jack-in-the-box.
And this eventually encourages Ben to book another appointment, with Ollie joking that he might die before it rolls round. Well, you better hope this isn't hereditary, says Ben. Maggie shits herself, and is still shitting herself a little bit as she goes to the cab office to ask Steve about his dad and the myotonic dystrophy that he died of. Steve explains that it's a muscle wasting disease that can cause heart problems, much like the palpitations that Ben had a few weeks ago. Maggie leaves him to it, but ends the episode gnawing on that knuckle again. And that's how we end this week's episodes.
Yes.
Do you know, I enjoyed talking about that far more than I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, no, me too.
It wasn't that bad.
Except for the Megan stuff.
The Megan stuff was so distressing.
Like, even the Theo stuff wasn't nearly as distressing this week because he dumps Todd, and that made me happy.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole, like, do it, stab me thing was a little distressing, but it was also a release because it's like, oh, thank God. Todd isn't as brainwashed as we thought.
But here, we've got someone outside the circle who knows what went on inside the circle, so to speak. This Declan character is a loose cannon. And Maggie probably wants to deal with this, but an ex-squaddy, I'm going to imagine, is going to take far more pushing down a stair than
Than
our dead husband did.
Wee soft husband. Yeah, that man is tall as well. It's going to take a lot of pushing for wee Maggie.
And not to be too disparaging to the actor, he looks like he's fallen down a few stairs in his time.
But fortunately, his ears catch his fall.
Nothing
We're
wrong
going
with
to get so many letters.
nothing wrong with a decent set of ears.
Yeah. One of our best presidents had huge ears.
You're determined to bring this to American politics at every turn.
I'm just saying. People with large ears are not necessarily terrible.
Now, I think where this is going to go is Ben doesn't have this disease either. And Maggie's been... Because the insinuation is, right, I think, more so, or maybe as much as her getting found out that Ben isn't the other one's, whatever his name was, dad.
Right. But she knows that Jim McDonald is Ben's dad.
Well, she absolutely knows this.
Yeah.
But what she's worried about... Well, she's worried about a couple of things.
Right.
She's worried about this coming out and her losing her pristine Catholic image. And
Does she really have a pristine Catholic image?
I think...
People on the street know that she's a bitch.
Yeah, but I don't think people think of her as being the sort of person that would have an affair. I think they think of her as being loyal and faithful in marriage.
And met Bono once.
Which I think was borrowed from a Alan Partridge episode. But anyway.
But she's mentioned the Bono thing before.
But there's that.
Yeah.
And there's also the fact that the result of this liaison could be Ben having a hereditary heart problem.
Right. That nobody knew about because she kept this lie for so many years.
Mm-hmm. And
now...
And that Ollie might have it. And that Will might have it.
Right. And also, Ben finding out that not only did he watch who he thought was his father die, he finds out that man wasn't actually his father, that Jim McDonald was his father, and he finds out after Jim McDonald dies. So he doesn't get to meet his other father either.
I thought we agreed that the kid who saw the dad die was the other one, and that's why he takes nothing to do with any of this.
Yeah, but Ben was in the house, is what I'm saying.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So he was traumatized by the death of his father in the house.
Right.
I don't think he knows that Maggie pushed him down the stairs. Softly.
Right.
Gently.
Blew on him. And that was it.
That was it.
Out goes the light. Even though his eyes opened when he... Anyway, we can keep on...
That happens. It's reflexes.
We can keep on talking about this, I guess.
Dead bodies move all the time.
So I don't think that he is going to have this hereditary disease, and she's going to be worried about all this, and is maybe going to eventually confess to this, probably for no reason. I would like that to happen. I don't want Ben to have this hereditary disease, and now he's probably primed for a Christmas exit in a couple of years' time. I'd like him to be around for a while. I like Ben.
Yeah, I like Ben too.
Maggie.
Well, yeah.
Not so much.
No. Or Will.
Do you have any thoughts on who you think is dying?
Like I said, I want them all to die.
Yeah, but we know that's not going to happen.
Well,
I still think Maggie's killing Megan.
I would just because we know one of them dies at this point in April. There's one body in April, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the other ones can't get killed off at a later date or just be bodies that aren't found for a few weeks.
Oh, no, it could be one a weekend at the middle of May.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And we would like that.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be funny if at least one died before the April thing?
Even though we've
seen them all watching the fireworks? Yeah.
So one of them is a ghost?
Yes.
Well, we've established
that
ghosts are a thing.
The show likes ghosts. The show likes ghosts.
Ghosts definitely are a thing.
Especially wet ones.
Loves a wet ghost.
Soggy.
What wet ghost are you talking about?
The guy who tried to kill Gail and the kids in the car. Yeah. Who came back as a ghost.
Yes. Came back as a ghost and left a puddle on the floor.
And was squelching as he walked across the carpet.
Oh, Gail.
Squelching.
Gail squelching.
Well, no. Gail watching a ghost squelch.
Squelch is one of those words, isn't it?
It is.
I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to see some of the funeral. I knew we weren't going to, but it still was a little disappointing when it's built up and then it doesn't go
It's kind
anywhere.
of ridiculous. We talk so much about this eulogy, and then we don't get to hear it.
And it was also Georgie's hearse that came to pick them up.
Right.
Because it's got a YBN or a YNF in its license plate.
Mm-hmm. You're such a nerd.
So,
well, of course, George.
But then George is complaining about not having any business, and he's just been doing the Jim funeral that he never spoke about and wasn't seen during. Normally we see George.
Normally
George is out with the hearse welcoming the family in and doing all the stuff that an undertaker's supposed to do.
Yeah, it was very understated. The whole, everybody waiting around and then getting in the car and everything. But then we get the funny bits, like Sally saying that Jim McDonald was a man. And David.
Not only that, was Sally talking to Tim and the Rovers and saying, I don't think many people are going to lose any sleep over Jim McDonald, or words to that effect.
Right.
Which felt a little, is that Sally that's saying that? That's what that felt.
Well,
and that was the meme of the week. That was Sally saying that, and then me putting all the Simpsons characters clutching their collar going, Rawr.
Right. And they make the comment about how there were only like 17 people there. And how Tracy says so many people are going to show up for her funeral.
And we got a little bit of chat about Deirdre's funeral.
Yes.
That Billy took and apparently Tracy ran out of.
Yes.
I don't remember very much about that episode. I don't know if I've seen it or not. I'm going to have to dig it out.
Yeah, maybe that's going to be next month's, it's not.
Of course, it only happened 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's true.
No, we're doing the lake. Betty and Bet getting caught in the lake.
Oh, that's right.
It's a twofer. Two episodes we're going to be talking about.
Ooh. Yeah, and then David remembering that Jim McDonald called him a toe rag once. That was funny.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. There were only 9 people at my dad's funeral, so people like Jim McDonald more.
There was so many people at my dad's funeral. It was standing room only at the back.
He was a teacher, wasn't he?
He was a teacher, then he worked as a systems analyst, and then he worked for the child support agency.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not anymore.
So
I think it depends on your perspective.
Right. From my experience, teachers' funerals are always well attended because they've been involved in so many people's lives over the years.
Oh, none of them were there.
Yeah.
But he did have a long career at British Alcan, and then he had a fairly long career at the child support agency. So
right.
There's people from that plus the family and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
I met some old friends at that funeral. Well, that was the week that was Coronation Street. We got through this in record time.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how quickly we went through this.
Only 4 storylines.
Yeah, but it was on all week.
It was.
And there were 2 pages of spoilers.
Maybe I was in a hurry to write my notes. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe.
What was your moment of the week, Helen?
Oh, gosh. I'd like to give it to Sally saying that Jim McDonald was a man, but...
And also the tie that was under the bed that everyone picked up on what that was for.
Everybody's like, ooh, kinky.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody said that.
Yep.
Everybody knew.
And neither Tim nor Sally disagreed with him.
Correct. I kind of want to give it to the old Irishman, sticking it to Maggie.
Oh, that's a good shout.
That was a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good. Scene. It was very well done. It was out the back. It's dark. The perspectives of these 2 people. It was very tense. It built up slowly. It was really well done. It
was tense as well because Maggie spent the whole night trying to avoid this, and it looks like she's got away with it.
Right. And then she hasn't.
He's just been biding his time.
Right. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, that's our
moment of the week.
Moment of the week.
Your boring moment of the week.
Is it Adam giving Alia a present we don't get to see?
So it was Ken with his ties.
You don't even get to see Ken.
Yeah, we do. Ken's in it this week.
That must have been when I nipped out for a shite. Yeah, let's give it to Ken and his ties.
For the bit that you didn't see.
Because I don't even remember it.
He offered a number of ties to Steve. He says, I've got plenty of ties in my wardrobe. Help yourself. And Steve says, thanks, and then doesn't.
Right. That is hilarious.
Well, it's hilarious.
So it's
and
not
that's
boring.
Not yeah.
I'm trying to think of something
Daniel did try and speak condescendingly to Megan and put her in her place. That was kind of dull, I guess.
It's not really boring, though. It's not like when he's talking about books.
Do you know, I just found the dog shit in the car stuff really boring.
Yeah. Me too. Dog shit.
Dog
it's
shit in
boring.
the car.
Boring moment of the week.
Boring couple of moments of the week. Those enormous shits that come out of that tiny little dog.
Is he shrinking, that dog? I seem to remember him being bigger than that.
No, it's a Yorkie size, I think.
They did replace that dog a few years ago, right enough.
Did they?
Yeah. Because remember, like, Jack P. Shepherd made an Instagram post about...
No, I didn't. I don't remember
the
that.
new David. And everybody said, oh, how cute. And nobody thought about the old David. I still don't know why they haven't replaced Eccles.
Because Eccles actually died on the show.
Right, yeah, but you'd think Ken would get a new dog.
Ken's barely eating green bananas at the moment. How's he going to get it?
Yay!
So that the dog can, like, bite Cassie if she tries to drug him again.
It's our mate section where we ask the people on Twitter what they thought of this week's show. And oh my God, talk about a split vote. This is 32%, meh, 33%, 35%. So the yays have it by a smidge.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. Because it was like... I wasn't all that moved by much this week. And for the first time ever, I fast-forwarded through a conversation. I've never done that before.
No, sometimes you just have to. I found it.
But this was like, I do not want to listen to this woman, essentially sexually harass Sam.
Sexually harass Sam by talking about her child's sex abuse.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want that, thank you.
Chris says, week saved by mention of Socrates and Zico, which are two Brazilian footballers who Steve and Tim were talking about.
Oh, so not the actual Socrates then?
Both of whom, well, that was a joke. Both of them played against Scotland in the 1982 World Cup, and we don't speak about that.
No. That should have been boring moment of the week.
But hey, we don't let those scores influence our scores, of course. So what score are you giving these episodes out of 10 this week?
I think I'm going to give it a 5 straight down the middle because it was just kind of meh.
I'm as satisfied with this as I was last week, so it's a 6 for me.
I enjoyed last week more for some reason. There was something. Oh.
Because it was only on 4 times, that's why you enjoyed it.
Yes, that's true.
All right. This episode was brought to you with thanks to our friends of the podcast: Daisy, French Helen, Pickles, DT, Wendy, Noel, Canadian Helen, Chrissy, Shandy, English Victoria, Aurora Yvonne, Heather Westerfield, Russell Whiting, Brittany Porter, Laurie, Anna, Tina, Leah, Tara J, Fiona B, Canadian Jennifer, Josephine Otingi, Anne Greenwood, Trish R, Sarah Purbrick, Ali Q, Hunker Munker, Darren, the artist formerly known as Seal My Fridge, Pamela, Marge JT, Tom Ambrose, Christopher Anstey, Terry in LA, Joe T, Corey Dales, Matthew McInerney, Welsh Emma, Matthew S, Rachel B, Uranium Jennifer, Catherine Monchero, Gary Heatley, Pam but not that one, Una, Amy, Jenny Droll, Ozzy Alley, Chris Horrocks, Cameron from Edmonton, Matt Birch, Library Jen, Jack the Marner, and David MacArthur. If you've ever forgotten to write a pithy comment to end your podcast, writing to tell us about it, we're the talk of the street at gmail.com, and we're at Corrie Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Threads and Blue Sky, or you can reach us the old-fashioned way, the talk of the street, PO Box 12, Eaton Rapids, Michigan 48827. Our spoiler show will be available shortly after this one, and in this month's classics we're talking about episode 4339.
Emily Up a Tree!
Get access to this exclusive content by becoming a friend of the podcast. Find all the links at corriepodcast.com, and be sure to check out our pop culture sister podcast, The List of Lists.
Fingers crossed for Sinners on Sunday.
Thanks for making it to the end of another episode, and we will be back next week with more
Talk of the Street.
The 400th episode of the Talk of the Street.
400. Woo!